You look at any of these very, very wealthy people. If you're Michael Jackson and you're wealthy and famous from the time that you're 5 years old, who can you trust around you? Are they around you because they care about you? Or are they around you because they want something from you? And how can you possibly tell the difference when you never know? If all of a sudden you become famous when you're like in your, late 20s, early 30s or something like that, you have a decent amount of life behind you of people who talked to you because they cared about you. If you're right now, if everybody completely ignores you in your life, and then whatever happens, you go online, you post a video on YouTube, and it's you singing. All of a sudden, you're famous, and then you show up into math class the next day, and everybody wants to talk to you. At least you understand. Wow, none of you wanted to talk to me yesterday, but today you do. At least you have some kind of a reference point at that, to that level. But imagine if you're, especially like if your whole life, like someone like Elon Musk, where your whole life has been geared towards business, where you present a persona because you want people to like you, because you want people to invest with you, because you want to build a company, and your whole life, 24/7, is geared towards that. You're not even eating meals without thinking about your company. Even every meal that you eat is a business meal with somebody. How do you possibly know who likes you for who you are? And that's why you see these people like what Elon Musk has, 7 children with how many different people? The guy's been through how many relationships? The guy can't seem to make anything work. How can you possibly? You look at Hollywood relationships. Why do so few Hollywood relationships work? How can you possibly know who's with you because they love you and who's with you just because of what they can get out of you? On a very small scale, you can say that about very beautiful people, very attractive people. Are they with you because of who you are, or are they with you because of what you look like? And intuitively, you should understand that if they're with you because of what you look like, that's only going to last for so long. And then they'll be on to another person who looks better, because we all age. We all, if you have children and your body, everything changes. And that's a person who's going to move on if you're with a person who's only with you because of that. And that's a deep fear that a lot of people have. Are you only with me because of this or because of that? And because it's difficult for us to accept love. It's interesting, like you're talking about, that Chris mentions that the gods want this mental and emotional attachment. That's something that's really, really important, and you can't miss that. What do gods overall really want from people, desire from people? Well, that emotional thing, that mental thing, is the praise. Worship. Why? Because it's the right thing. You should worship Zeus. And can Zeus ever really appreciate your worship? What happens if you don't worship Zeus? What does he do? He smites you. Yeah, he kills you. Is it really a choice at that point? So when even if you get on your knees and you worship Zeus, you still can appreciate the worship, because it's not real. Is it because they really think highly of me? Or is it because they're afraid I'm going to smite them with lightning if they don't worship me? Elon Musk, he brings somebody around, the person admires him, wants to be like him. Is it because of that, or is it because they want something out of me? You may imagine almost every woman he dates, I just read recently that there's this industry of people who do background checks before dates for highly wealthy people. So if if a very wealthy person asks you on a date, they'll get your information, and then they pass it along to an agency, and they do a full background check on you before you ever go on a date with them. They want to know everything about you, where you grew up, who your families are, what your finances are like. Imagine viewing the world with such incredible skepticism. How can you ever really get real, true love? And that's interesting, because it's also what people want, and that's the one thing that we seem to have in common. What else do the gods want? Does Zeus need a place to live? No, Zeus can go wherever he wants, but we do need a place to live. Does Zeus need money? No, well, we need money. In fact, we really, really want money, and we really, really want a nice house. All of the things that we as people want, that we desire, the gods don't desire. It's just that one thing that we have in common, which is love. And so if you're asking for something that's godlike, hasn't it been said before that God is love? That word is means it's an equal sign. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 9 times 9 is equal to the number of 81. It's the same thing on both sides. Would you rather have 9 times 9 or would you rather have 81? It doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So when you see that phrase that God is love, then that tells us something. That the thing that we desire is the same thing. It's that love thing. It's that mental state, it's the emotional state. Now beyond that, what do the gods want? Nothing. The gods don't desire anything. So if you want to be godlike, what do you have to do? Get rid of all of your desires. Get rid of all of those, get rid of all of your wants. What does that mean? It means being homeless? Probably, yeah. Because once you have a home, what do you have to have? A job. Once you have a job, what do you have to have? A car. Once you have a car, what do you have to have? Insurance. Once you have insurance, what do you have to have? And you have to have a phone, because the phone is how you stay in touch with people. It's how you get your work schedule, so you have to have a phone now. Once you have a phone, that means you have to have a data plan. Once you have a data plan, you have to have an internet connection. Once you have that, you have to have a computer. And you see how so much of life is, and I mean literally so much of your lifetime, of your work day, out of 8 hours a day, how much of that is spent on paying for the things that you want, buying the things that you want. And they say, oh man, life is so hard because everything is expensive. Yeah, everything you buy is expensive. Everything you buy is expensive. So how do you save? Money only matters to people who buy stuff. So if you want to get rid of that stress or that anxiety, what do? Well, you get rid of the stuff that you're buying all the time. Don't have a phone, don't have a car. Oh, but then you can't get through life. Then that's the choice you're making. That's the choice. The gods don't have cell phones. Gods don't have cars. That's because they can fly everywhere. And oh, by the way, the gods also don't have excuses. We're full of them. The gods don't have them. Life gets complicated because we make it complicated. Life gets expensive because we buy stuff that we can't afford to impress people who don't like us anyway. Because somehow we feel like it validates us. If I have stuff, then that means I've made it. That means I'm worth it. You know, if you really look at it, why do you want new stuff? I don't know, I just want new stuff. There's a reason for it, man. Get to the it at the bottom. And what you're going to find is that there's some kind of a desire that makes you feel like you're enough. The only thing that makes the gods feel like they're enough is exactly what we go back to. Praise, love, adoration. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. Why should you worship the gods? Because they deserve it. That's it. Is it because they can kill you? No. I mean, they can. That's not why you should do it. You should be nice to people. Why? Is it because they can destroy you? No, maybe they can. But that's not why you should be nice to people. One of my friends got into a bar fight on Sunday. He was telling me about it. Broke someone's arm. Should the guy have been nice to him? Yeah. His friend got off light. His friend was about to get his arm broken. And my friend decided not to do it. The guy's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. They just fucked with the wrong guy, man, on the wrong night. Could he have done way worse to them? Yeah. Should they have been nice to him because he could have hurt them? No, they should have been nice to him, period. It didn't matter if what he could do to them. But sometimes you run across people that can also destroy you. The gods can do that. Don't be nice to people just because they can destroy you. Be nice to them. Don't be nice to people just because of what they can do for you. Be nice to them. Imagine how awesome it would be if you were Elon Musk and you met somebody and you really liked them, and it turns out that they didn't have a phone, they didn't have an internet connection, they lived very simply, and they had no idea who you were. Imagine you're a pop star and you meet somebody and it turns out they have no idea who you are. Imagine the elation you would feel. Imagine the disappointment you would feel when you go on your first date and they go, oh my God, I looked into who you are. I Googled you. I didn't know that's who you were. And all of a sudden, everything changes. So, yeah, figure out what it is that makes the gods the gods. Figure out what makes the people the people. And if you want to be godlike, imitate them in those desires, or at least the elimination of them. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? I apologize, low energy. I will feel better soon, maybe next week.